If you're into videos about supernatural phenomena, unsolved mysteries, and true crime, you've come to the right channel. We upload new videos 2 to 3 times a week, so if this sounds like the content you enjoy, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss any of our weekly uploads. Now, let's dive into the video. The disappearance of Dennis Martin is one of the most unsettling mysteries in the history of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The story begins on June 14, 1969, when 6-year-old Dennis and his family embarked on their annual Father's Day weekend camping trip, a tradition they held dear. Little did they know, this trip would end in tragedy as Dennis vanished without a trace, leading to the largest search operation in the park's history. Dennis, along with his father William, older brother Douglas, and grandfather Clyde, was excited for their 2-day camping trip in the wilderness. On the morning of June 14th, they reached Spence Field, a grassy area near the Appalachian Trail that offered beautiful views and a perfect spot for families to relax. The Martins were joined by another family they knew, and the children, full of energy and excitement, began to play together in the woods. Dennis, being the youngest, eagerly joined in. What followed would change the lives of the Martin family forever. As part of their fun, the boys concocted a plan to sneak up on the adults and surprise them. They split into 2 groups. Dennis went off on his own, while the others hid together. The plan was simple. After hiding in the trees and bushes, they would jump out and scare the adults. The other boys quickly revealed themselves, laughing and enjoying the prank, but Dennis did not appear. At first, his father William was not too concerned. He assumed Dennis was just hiding or had wandered a little too far. But as the minutes passed, a sense of dread began to creep in. William called out for Dennis, expecting to hear his voice, but there was only silence. Realizing something was very wrong, William immediately began searching the nearby woods, shouting Dennis's name and hiking up and down the trails around Spence Field. His red shirt should have made him easy to spot in the green forest, but there was no sign of him. After searching for over an hour, William knew they needed help. His father, Clyde, set off on a 9-mile hike to the nearest ranger station to report Dennis's disappearance. As the hours passed, the sense of urgency intensified. The search for Dennis Martin had begun. By early the next morning, the National Park Service had launched a formal search. Initially, 30 park rangers combed the woods, but word of the missing boy spread quickly, and soon hundreds of volunteers poured in to help. The search party swelled to include college students, Boy Scouts, local police, and even firefighters. Despite their best efforts, no trace of Dennis could be found. By June 15th, the search team had grown to 240 people. Planes and helicopters joined the effort, scanning the dense forest from above, while bloodhounds were brought in to track any scent of Dennis. However, a heavy thunderstorm had moved into the area the night before, drenching the mountains with 3 inches of rain, washing away any footprints or clues that might have helped trace the boy. On June 20th, Dennis's 7th birthday, nearly 800 searchers scoured the forest, desperate to find any sign of the missing boy. Members of the U.S. Army, Green Berets, and National Guard joined the effort, bringing with them the resources and expertise that could potentially make a difference. By June 21st, the number of searchers had reached an astonishing 1,400. The operation covered 56 square miles. Despite these massive efforts, the search turned up nothing. Helicopters flew over the dense trees, search dogs sniffed the ground, and hundreds of volunteers painstakingly searched every corner of the woods, but no sign of Dennis was found. As the days passed, the mood among the searchers turned grim. The sheer number of people involved in the search may have inadvertently caused more harm than good. Some experts speculated that the overwhelming presence of volunteers trampled potential evidence, and with the storm washing away any trace of footprints, the search became even more difficult. By June 26, the search was scaled back, and on June 29, 1969, it was officially called off. The National Park Service, the FBI, and other agencies involved were at a loss. The Martin family, devastated by the loss of their son, offered a $5,000 reward for any information leading to Dennis's whereabouts. In the years that followed, numerous theories have been proposed about what could have happened to Dennis Martin. One of the most plausible explanations is that he simply wandered off, got lost, and succumbed to the elements. The Smoky Mountains are known for their rugged, unforgiving terrain, with steep ravines and dense underbrush that can be disorienting, especially for a small child. Some believe Dennis may have fallen into one of these ravines, where his body could have been hidden by the thick foliage and never discovered. Another theory is that Dennis may have been attacked by a wild animal. Bears, though not commonly aggressive toward humans, are known to roam the area, and in the weeks leading up to Dennis's disappearance, park rangers had observed a particularly undernourished bear scavenging for food in the park. This theory may suggest that a hungry bear grabbed and carried Dennis away, though no signs of such an encounter were ever found. Perhaps the most chilling theory is that Dennis was abducted. On the afternoon he disappeared. A family camping about 7 miles away from Spence Field reported hearing a loud scream, followed by the sighting of a disheveled, rough-looking man running through the woods. The man was reportedly carrying something over his shoulder, though the witnesses could not determine what it was. Some speculate that this man may have abducted Dennis and taken him out of the park. However, this sighting was never conclusively linked to the case, and despite extensive investigation by the FBI, no concrete evidence was ever found. In the years following Dennis's disappearance, other strange and unconfirmed reports emerged. Some people claim to have seen a group of feral humans living deep in the wilderness of the Smoky Mountains, theorizing that these individuals may have taken Dennis. These rumors are difficult to verify, and park officials have dismissed them as mere speculation. Nonetheless, the mystery surrounding Dennis's disappearance continues to fuel such theories. In 1985, 16 years after Dennis went missing, a ginseng hunter came forward with a chilling claim. He said that years earlier, while illegally harvesting ginseng in the national park, he had stumbled upon the scattered skeletal remains of a small child in a remote area known as Big Hollow. Fearful of being prosecuted for his illegal activity, the man had not reported his find at the time. When he finally did come forward, authorities conducted a search of the area but found nothing. This lead, like so many others, went cold 8 source. Dennis Martin's disappearance remains one of the most haunting unsolved cases in American history. Despite the largest search ever conducted in the park, no trace of him has ever been found. Over 50 years later, the questions surrounding his fate continue to linger. Did he simply wander too far into the wild, lost and alone, never to be found? Was he the victim of a wild animal attack or an abduction? Or did something more sinister, perhaps even supernatural, take him? For the Martin family, the loss of Dennis was devastating, and they never gave up hope of finding out what happened to their son. The case prompted the National Park Service to review and revise its policies on search and rescue operations, and it remains a cautionary tale for anyone venturing into the wilderness. Even with modern technology and vast resources, the Smoky Mountains still hold their secrets, and Dennis Martin's disappearance remains an enduring mystery. As people continue to study the case, its place in the pantheon of missing 411 stories grows. These stories, compiled by researcher David Paulides, involve unexplained disappearances in national parks and wilderness areas. The eerie circumstances surrounding Dennis's disappearance, the sudden vanishing, the lack of evidence, and the wild theories have made it a cornerstone of the missing 411 phenomenon, captivating those who seek answers to some of the most mysterious cases of missing persons in the wild.